Hey and welcome to this new video of Mastering Symfony GE. So in this video we will see the two routing formal, YAML and annotation. So let's go first, let's create a new bundle. So let me create it. Control C, we will run it after. So php bin dash console generate two dot bundle, and for the name let's name it blog bundle, for example, just like the example, blog bundle. Let's hit OK. Yeah, and for routing format, it's this one with annotation, so let's hit OK and it will be created, and here it is, blog bundle. And if we go to this new bundle, we will see that he has the default controller, but let's create our controller. So with command generate controller, let's hit OK. So let's give it a name, and don't forget that before the name we need to say or to write the name of the bundle. So blog bundle, two dots, and then the name, let's name it blog also. So hit enter. Yeah, we want the routing form as annotation, twig, and here for the action let's create an action of index and action. Let's hit enter. Let's give it just like that path for the route. Hit enter, enter, and here it tells us if we want to add another action like this index action. If we want to add another, for the moment no, yes, confirm this generation, and now we see that the controller is here, blog controller is created successfully. So let's check the controller, and as we see, this is the action that we created, and before the action we see like the route that we create also to start this action. So let's name it blog, because we don't have any route with that name, but we have a route with slash, so that's why we need to make the change. So let's save it. Let's start. Now if I want to name my route, it's like this here, and I write name equal, and I give it a name. For example, this function, it shows, for example, list of articles. So just say blog dash list. Save. And now how about if we want to create another route, yeah, with another function? So let's just copy this, copy, and here paste. But this, for example, it will show us, for example, one article. So show class here, the blog, and as this function show class, it shows us just, for example, one article. So I need to have the ID of the article. So, and to have an ID, or to pass an ID, or to write an ID in a routing system of annotation, we put it between brackets, and we say the name of this dynamic parameter. For the moment it's ID, and here let's change the name, for example, to show blog. Let's save it. So here let's delete this and use just the response that we see in the previous video. So new response, and let's just say show blog, and here it's not from browse kit but from HTTP foundation. Yeah, so let's save that. So now let's test this first. Let's run the server. It's already running. So let's say now if we want, for example, to show one article, it's blog, we say slash and we give it the ID. So for example, let's type 5 for example, and we need to see the response. Yeah, show blogs. Now how about if we want to take this this ID that we're passing in URL and copy it or write it in here. So to do that, we need to add a parameter to our show function. So let's add a parameter. Let's name it ID like in here, and now let's write it. So dot id. Let's make a little space in here, save, and let's see what we have. So now if I refresh, it must tell me show blog 5. Now if for example say 2000, hit enter, show blog 2000. See, so basically this is how we can take, for example, the dynamic segment in here and just write it in the body or in our page. But here, for example, if we instead of a number phrase, for example, Symfony, if we hit enter, it will also be written in here. So now how about if I want to tell, for example, Symfony to make just a number in here and don't write also for example phrase or something, anything than who is not a number. So to do that, let's go in here and add a third parameter. So comma, and here parameter named requirement. So requirement equal, and I open the bracket, no, and first I type the name of for example the field that I want to be required, and in our case is ID. So ID 2 dot, and now we will put a regex form and or yeah regex type. So let's do that. So not in here I between brackets and slash d, and here I forget an s requirement. So let's save that. Let's give it a try. So it's save. For example here 5, show blog 5 normally. Something's error. Let's go back to the code. Yeah, here it's an A. So now let's save. Let's try again. Just refresh. Yes, now show blog 5. If we add 0, it will work. So basically nothing wrong. So now if we retest again, I test with 2, and it is right. So now let's put something who is not an answer or a number. Just say hello, and he will give us, for example, HTTP status of get. Yeah, so here no route found for this path. So let's try it again with one integer. Now it will work. But how about if I add, like in previous, for example, 2 number in here, enter, and it will also tell us that it's no route found or it's an error. Why is that? Because here in the code we put just for example here in place of one integer. So if we want to add multiple integer, we need to do plus. So now we add plus, we save. Let's go back and just refresh this. Now it will work good. Yeah, see. Now how about if I want to tell Symfony the exact number that I want to be in here or in the dynamic segment. So let's add, for example, another dynamic so let's name it, for example, years. So year, and here also let's do the exact thing like we do with id. So year and 2 dot, he is also an integer g, but and we know that year it's for integer. So how we wanna tell Symfony that year it's for integer? So basically we just add those brackets and here let's say 4. So let's save that. Let's go again and so now this URL it's no more working because now we have 2 dynamic parameters. So let's add the year and if we see it's looking or it's working, let me just change that to assure you that it's working. Now if we write something or a number less than 4 characters, it will not work. So let's try it. See, and it tells us no round found for this. Or it just add again this. So basically more or plus than 4 integer will not work. Now let's add another dynamic parameter, but now but this time we want it as a string. So let's go back to our code editor and let's name it, for example, title. So let's write it title, and here let's also validate it with this requirement. So just let me copy and paste this, and now we want to tell Symfony that this title is not an integer but it's a string with regex. So we put those bracket and it will be an string from E to Z and plus. That means it's like it's plus in here. That means more than just 1 character. So let's save it now. If we go back here, let's add, for example, title, hit enter, and it will work. But how about if I write, for example, something but uppercase? So here title, let me add blog with B with uppercase. It will not work because in our regex we tell him that from A to Z but in lowercase. So if we want to add uppercase also, came here and write E to Z but in uppercase. So if I save it and I go back to navigator, I refresh this page, now it will work. So now it's working. Now how about if I want to add an extension? For example here, title blog.php or .html or basically dot something. So how can I add this dot something? So let's go to our code editor and here we will add it dot and extension. I will name it just ext. So here let's also put it in the requirement and let's validate it. We want, for example, to be just HTTP, PHP or HTML. So how we say that to Symfony? By this writing PHP or HTML. So let's save it. So basically this pipe, it's the OR. So now I'm saving it and let's try it. So now I need to put, for example, here I will put PHP, enter, and it will work. But how about if I write something either than PHP or HTML, for example JS, JavaScript? It will not work and it will tell me see no round found for this. So now let's say HTML, and it will work again. Now let's type all this argument in here in the body. So we said that if we want to write any one of those arguments, I need to put him here as a parameter. So I have the ID, I need to add here, I need to add also title, and finally the extension. So I have already here. If I want to put them, let's copy and paste, but with double quote and not single quote, because double quote it can read this, but with simple code it will just show them as they or as it is with $AG, $year and stuff. So let's save it, let's go back to Chrome, refresh the page, and here the ID, the year, the title and the extension. Now how about if I want to make a default extension? So let's go back in here and type equal, for example, PHP. So now if I didn't for example I am saving it, if I didn't type in here the extension, it will be PHP because I make it by default. So see PHP. So this is all for this video, and see you next. We will learn about YAML routing. This video it was about the annotation, so the next video will be about the YAML routing. So see you next.